I think there should at least be a little bit of regulation, because some stuff is just rude and impolite, and not everybody would want to see it, which is why I think the rating system is pretty good, or at least we have a rating system, because, you know, if it's rated R, it shows people that don't want to see that kind of stuff. That's like, you may not want to go to this movie because it has, like, nudity or language or drug content or that kind of stuff. So I think it's good for those people that don't that don't exactly want to, I don't know, like when you go to a movie and bam, there's something and you're like, oh snap, like I didn't want to see that, or I didn't want to hear that. And so I think the rating system is good.
They are adequate, but I don't think that they are equal. Like, what's R for one movie could be completely different for another movie. Like, if they base it off of language, I don't see why some words count more towards the rating or whatever. You know what I mean? I think like what the standards are for each rating is fairly accurate, but they don't carry through the same for all movies.
Do you believe the rating system as it is today is tough enough, or do you think they're going a little bit lax on it?
They have been. Yeah, I personally think that, yeah, they have been a little lax, I think, but I don't know. Society is changing. I don't know if it's like good or bad. I mean, because everything seems to be lax, because like I just remember when I was little, and I like heard bad words, there's sexual stuff on the TV, and like, oh snap, but it was like late at night, and mom wouldn't let me watch it and all this stuff, but now it seems like it's everywhere. Or maybe just when I was little I just didn't understand it, but it now seems to be everywhere, and that younger kids are using more profane language at a younger age and all of this stuff. So it's just society is changing, but I think it is, because we're not conservative 1950s anymore. Like, I try to keep an open mind. Like, even movies. I was at a movie a couple weeks ago, and there was some like nudity and sexual stuff, but I'm like, it was taken. I'm like, but like, this is art. I'm like, it can be considered art. I'm like, it's not, and it was a movie. It wasn't like what would be considered a porno or something like that. But it was. I'm like, this is what people do for art. So, and I just have to understand that.
I think if you're going to use the F word once in a movie, and they're going to say, oh, they said F word in this movie, that word automatically puts in rated R category, for example. If they're going to say, they shouldn't put a list. If they say it more than 3 times, then it should be R. I think if one or none, you know. I think if the ratings were more consistent like that, or stricter or whatever.
Well, my thing is either overexposure or exposure too early. Like, that's what I think the problem is right now. And yeah, PG-13, you can't get into your 13, even though, I don't know, I remember at my movie theater, we had to have a like signed note from our parents to get into either PG-13 or rated R, but sometimes like they just let us go because, I don't know, we looked old enough or something. So, but yeah, I think mostly for the children, and for people that don't want, because not all people are the same. They have different views about things, and I think it should be for those people that don't want to hear that kind of stuff, and then it gives them a good picture of what the movie is going to be like, almost. So
I think that the way the movie theaters do it now, or it does it justice, but I think
what do the theaters do now?
Okay, what they do, at least the ones that I go to, they put out the ratings, say this movie is rated R, and the parents and the people who go to it know what to expect in a rated R movie. Now theaters I've been to, like, parents can go up to the window with the child who's under, like, say they're underage. The parent says to the person, I give my child permission to go to it, and the parent doesn't necessarily have to go to the movie with them. Now, I think that is kind of contradictory. I think that if the parent's going to allow them to go, the parent should go with their child to say, so they know what was actually in the movie, and they should, that way, they would be able to explain, or, that's the whole reason the whole South Park movie was, based off of. The kids went to the movie, they learned the language, and the parents blamed it on the movie. Well, it's their fault for letting them get into the movie, sort of.
While conducting my interviews, I did a little research online to discover what media theories might fit this topic, and the best one I found was the uses and gratifications theory, which states that people will use the media to gratify a want, need, or desire. And that brought up a question in my mind. Is media only a tool to entertain, to gratify one's wants, needs, or desires? If so, then is there anything we really should be censoring by regulations from the government or from other organizations? Should we be doing the censoring ourselves? Are we intelligent enough to go on to a channel and be like, I don't want to watch this, or I don't want my children to watch this? Are we around the computer enough to say, I don't want my child looking at this site? Are there enough private internet blockers out there for us to protect our children when we're not there? Are we listening to what songs our children are listening to? Do we approve of these things? Do we really want to see on TV, do we really want to see in movies what we are seeing? Is the bulk of a movie, per se, good enough to watch it even though there might be some bad in it? These are questions you need to ask yourself, and hopefully you'll come up with more questions. I'm not providing answers here. Want to know more about censorship and what's going on in our society? A good site to go to is ncac.org. It's a national coalition against censorship's website. Its views are very, very biased against censorship, as the name probably suggests. However, it does have news about ongoing issues within our society involving censorship, and while these views may be slanted, it will help you get a better idea of whether or not you want censorship in a certain area or not.